you. Hi, Mike. Oh, we didn't plan where we were going to sit. I'll just go here. Hi. Oh, I've got two mics on, so. No? Hi. Hello. Welcome to 72 and Sunny. A few people here didn't know this is an advertising agency. I work here. We've got quite a few people from the industry that have come tonight. We as an agency are really proud to be part of an industry that is really recognizing the importance of gender diversity and making sure that representations of women and people of color are fair and equal in the work that we make. So thank you for coming. I went to a talk last year and Sheryl Sandberg said that to be a New York Times bestseller, you only have to sell 9,000 books. But an ad can have so much more, millions of times more impact than that. So what we do in advertising is incredibly impactful in culture, and it's super important. So, I think what we want to do, I guess we're trying to sort of keep the conversation moving forward. So we're going to use this space that we just moved into to have more events like this. So hopefully you'll see this will be just the beginning of lots of conversations that we're going to have like this. So thank you for coming. I'm super nervous. I don't know why I just got really super nervous. I can't breathe out. Thank you. I don't know why this happened to me. I just breathed in and I couldn't breathe out. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. Okay, so we're going to bring the funny people up now. Maysoon and Anna, Joyelle and Madeline are going to come up and we're going to talk about careers in comedy and and how comedy can be this kind of Madeline described it as like the tasty meat around the pill of provocative conversations that we can have in culture. Thank you for bearing with my awkward moment. Okay.
Testing. Hello.
It works. Okay.
Did you like our creepy tiptoe up to the stage? Is that cool?
Yes, it really helped.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask is for the whole panel. So just tell us about your decision to go into comedy and what drew you to it, and also, what were some of the hard decisions that you had to make, or some of the hard things about a career in comedy, as a woman specifically?
So hi, I'm Maysoon, hi. Okay.
Do you want to say who we are?
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you guys I'm sorry.
It's four random people that found us.
You were on the invite, so I was assuming who you were. But yes, can you do a little brief intro? It would be amazing.
Emma Stone.
I'm Beyonce.
I need you to stop doing Asian roles, Emma. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, do it. Say who you are.
So, hi, I'm Maysoon Zayed. I'm a comedian, disability advocate, blah, blah, blah. Maysoon.com. You can see me at the comic strip. I didn't choose to become a comedian. Basically, Hollywood shunned me, and I had no choice but to become a comic. So, if you're an actor who can't succeed, comedy is your world. It's for those of us who are not tall enough, not skinny enough, and definitely not able-bodied enough. So, what happened was, like most Muslim girls growing up in America, my dream in life was to be on the daytime soap opera General Hospital. And it's true, I'm still vying for that. Like, I still tweet them every day, and they finally, the executive, this has nothing to do with anything. This is just me talking to Joy about something bad that happened. Finally, the executive producer reached out to me, and I was so excited. They offered me a tour of the set.
That's such a nice way to say no.
I was I want to be healed. So basically, I wanted to be on soap operas. I looked at TV. I did not see people who looked like me. People with disabilities are 20% of the population. We're 2% of who you see on TV. Of that 2%, 95% are played by non-disabled actors. So where I saw myself was stand-up comedy. I saw Richard Pryor, the original shaking comic. And I was like, oh, I'll just become a comic and then become a huge star. And that's how I got into comedy.
I don't think I had a choice. I think it was more like a calling. It chose me. I never, ever really thought that I could be in television. I'm behind the scenes. I've never done stand-up. I like to be the funny person in the back of the room. Even holding this mic makes me really uncomfortable, but I promise I'm hilarious without it. And I saw David Letterman in 1985. I had a really bad boyfriend and I stayed up way too late. And I saw the Letterman show and it was like an epiphany. And I thought I must work there for him. And it took 2 years and I willed it to happen. And that was how it happened.
That deserves applause, y'all. She willed something. I just willed something myself actually, but I'm Joyelle, everybody. I'm giving you placebo, I'm giving you day job, I'm giving you 401k. I don't have any of those, so, but I'm appropriately dressed for this space. I did the same thing. Maysoon, I was like trying to be an actress in Hollywood, and then I found myself going to comedy clubs like once a week. It was like once a month, then it was once a week, then it was twice a week. And I got with this improv group in California. The sketch group was called the Comedy Playground, and the star of the group was Kevin Hart. And this was 10 years ago, so this wasn't Kevin Hart. This was like,
a little short guy.
Short little dude over in the corner, yes. And Tiffany Haddish was also in the group as well. And so it was sketch comedy and it was stand-up, and every week they'd be like, who wants to do stand-up? And Tiffany would be like, me. And I'd be looking at her like, wow, she's cool. I want to be just like her. And so I just started doing stand-up after Kevin had to like leave and go get famous or something. And
then Tiffany had to.
Exactly, yeah, much later. But yeah, so that's how I started, just coming into it, and yeah.
Hello. Hi. I'm Anna Dresden. I love Whose Line Is It Anyway? As a child, that's why I got into comedy. Wow. And that sucks so bad. I have so many friends who are like, I grew up watching The State and Strangers with Candy and the UCB TV show, and I'm like, cool, Colin Mockery literally made me who I am. Feast upon my brilliance, you know? I also did the acting to improv to stand-up failure trajectory. Yeah, literally started doing stand-up because my improv group kicked me out because I dumped one of the members who's now married to a guy I went to high school with, and we all hang out. But now I do stand-up.
Amazing. Well, Madeline, you were saying the other day that you had some regrets about your early days. Do you want to let's get them out early?
Let's get them out. I'm the co-creator of The Daily Show. I was literally patient zero. I was personally recruited by Doug Herzog, who is the president of Comedy Central, to create a show that would be on every day. I turned it down for 9 months, and finally he convinced me and I agreed. And Liz Winstead had been my upstairs neighbor in Chelsea, and I had hired her to be a segment producer on the Jon Stewart Show, which had been on MTV and then was in syndication and died a long, slow, painful death.
I signed that wall.
Did you really?
The Jon Stewart Show, yeah.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Anyway, Liz and I folded her in. Is Elise here? Elise Roth was there in the room at the time too. Elise was in the very beginning of The Daily Show. And we didn't know what it was. And none of us really knew what we were doing. We were thrown in way over our head. And my regret is that I created the format. We hired all of the original writers. We hired all of the correspondents. The moment of zen was my cat, who used to watch Charles Kuralt. at the end, they would have like 2 minutes of birds nesting in the wetlands of northern Nebraska. And I said, why don't we put the most disturbing footage at the end of the show, and we'll call it the moment of Zen, and that's how it came. But we fucked up. We hired all, for the writing staff at least, I had a lot of women producers. Beth Littleford was one of the original correspondents. But in terms of the writer's room, I don't know how it happened, and I'm sorry. It was all white dudes, white straight dudes. And there wasn't a Jew in the bunch.
That shocks me.
I know.
There are so many writers.
I know.
I'm like, where are the Jews though?
No, all the Jews came later, but we were very proud because we didn't have any Harvard guys. Like, we had no money, so we were really resourceful, and we really did hire a lot of stand-ups and people from print, but we just didn't know. It was a different time. It was not on our radar that we should be overcompensating for the foibles of society at large. And we sort of received the submissions that we got. We hired the funniest people. And then like 4 years later, when Liz was gone and we were winning Emmys, people would say, well, now why didn't you hire any women? And I was like, I don't know. And I wish I could go back and do it differently, but guess what? You can't. And so it's something that I live with. I'm really proud of my accomplishment. I think I created something that gave a lot of people jobs, and also changed the way that college students process and get their news. But I can't really sort of rest on those laurels because I do think there was a giant omission. And I have some thoughts as to why it happened, but I'm gonna let some other people talk right now.
Well, I mean, you're become a role model and an example for other women to want to get into the business as well. So don't beat yourself up too badly.
No, I just can't really answer the question, and I actually think that the reason that I can't, I'm going to blame it on my mother. My mother was super accomplished and really strong, and I grew up in Manhattan.
This speaker is very loud right in my ear. Is there any way to turn all of our mics down? Thank you.
I was 17 when I met my first Republican. I thought they were a fictional character. And I think that because I was raised in this tiny echo chamber, I didn't really know it was an issue. So
it's a lovely, beautiful bubble that you
I lived in a beautiful, artistic, creative, liberal bubble, and I just didn't know that it was an issue, and that's the reason. But that's, okay, stop beating me up!
It's okay. You were patient zero for white feminism.
Yes. Oh my God. I knew this was gonna happen.
No, we're nice. I'm nice.
So tell me, if you want to, Maysoon, how would you say that you're using your platform and your position now to sort of expand people's idea of women in comedy?
I'm not inspirational. I don't teach people. I don't give a fuck if you hate Muslims. I'm not gonna hug you in the street to make you feel better. I'm not. So basically what happened was, like I said, I was rejected by Hollywood. I started doing stand-up comedy, and somehow I became this like Tony Robbins without the problematic, issues with women type of person, but none of it was me. So like people would come up to me and be like, you're the first Muslim I ever met. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You just jumped out of a taxi. You were with a Muslim driving a deadly weapon and you didn't know. I don't. My whole goal is to make people laugh. And that's my only goal. So my regret though, like your regret, my regret was that when I first became a stand-up comic, my influences were Andrew Dice Clay, Eddie Murphy, and Richard Pryor. So basically I used every slur in the book. I was like, listen to this dead baby rape joke, let's do it. And I regret that because I was a terrible, terrible human being. Like when Paula Deen had her moment, I was like, I have 10 years of those moments. And I didn't know until I did my TED Talk that words mattered. So in 2013, I did a TED Talk. Same year as Sheryl Sandberg, except I got more views than her. Whatever. I leaned in because I can't really sit up straight. And I was like, let's do this. So at that time, people started writing me and being like, hey, we don't see ourselves anywhere. And every person saw what they wanted to see in the talk. So Muslim women were like, wow, you know, it's a non-oppressed, non-burqa wearing Muslim woman who's like representing, they saw what they wanted to see. People with disabilities were like, this is the first time we've seen a mainstream image, and so on and so forth. And then I realized the whole Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility, and I have to get rid of all of my slurs. And I can't even say crazy, stupid, or dumb now, because those are ableist slurs, which means you're making fun of people with mental health issues. So life is boring. I'm still funny, even without my slurs, but I do regret the fact that like my bread and butter were like Virgin Mary tampon jokes. I did a joke about, because Joelle gave me the look, I have to do it. So I'm Muslim, but I'm also Palestinian, and Jesus was born in Palestine. Put that in your pocket. So I used to do a joke about how Virgin Mary should have been happy that Jesus brought home Mary of Magdalene. Instead, she was like, you're the son of God, and you're bringing me home a whore. So misogynistic, bigoted, it was bad.
What are your regrets?
So that's my Madeline regret. I didn't empower white men to take over the world. I was just disrespectful of people's faiths and disabilities and cultures. I'm totally kidding. I love you. She's trying to empower Egyptian women. It's good.
I have a question for Joelle. You're in the stand-up world.
I'll say after that, but sure.
I'm going to do like it kind of relates. So tell me, do you have, speaking of super irreverent topics, do you see, in the stand-up world, like what women, what are kind of trends that are happening in stand-up among women, and what are kind of the things that people are pushing up against, and what do you kind of wish that you were seeing in the world of like women's comedy? Sorry, it's like loaded.
That's a heavy.
Yeah, you can talk for
10-parter. I just feel like the trend specifically for bookers and people who book comedy clubs is that they're having more female-centered showcases. Like now with the Me Too movement, we're getting all of these. There's a woman showcase for IFC and a woman showcase for NBC and ABC. So it's like everybody's like, oh, I guess you guys have a voice now. So I'm happy that that's like a bit of the backlash, if that's a backlash at all, but
the backlash of the backlash.
The backlash of the backlash, yes. So I think it's a great thing, and I'm noticing just that trend that people are listening to us and not expecting something from us when we get on stage, like, oh, you're going to tell a relationship joke or whatever, a period joke. Who cares? It doesn't matter what we talk about. We're talking, and we are more than half of the population. So listen to us. I'm just happy that people are listening to us.
Yeah, it's funny because it is like women are getting more stuff now, but it's in this way of like, yes, and the Me Too is there, yes, and we do, and the women are here, and they're women, and that is so woman great, and very much sorry about all of it, and you can be a woman now. Like it's this very nervous sort of like, let's hear what the woman has to say. And you're like, well, I guess thanks for asking, but
Do you think comedy is getting more sophisticated as it kind of navigates all these kind of unfunny topics to women, like Trump and Me Too, and I mean, maybe is there going to be a point where we can make more comedy of that, of these topics that seem to be really unfunny right now?
It's getting really scary. It's getting downright scary. So I was I'm still Palestinian Muslim, but I was a Palestinian Muslim comic doing stand-up comedy post 9/11 in New York City. Also the run-up to the Iraq War. I mercilessly mocked George Bush, and there was absolutely no problem with it. Now, literally, I would say 65% of my gigs tell me I'm not allowed to mention the word Donald Trump. Not allowed to say, not allowed to say his name, and they pay me enough to shut me up. It is what it is.
What's the...
I'm like, ignore my Twitter, because I was never in my life told not to talk about George Bush. Clearly not told not to talk about Barack Obama, because we're all like... But yeah, 65% of the time I'm told do not mention Trump. I did an event at a huge corporate event, big money. I was so careful. And I do a joke about how everyone always dreams of being disabled, right? Because if you're driving around looking for parking, you see 16 empty handicap spaces, and you're like, God, can't I have bone spurs or something? They went to my agents and were like, she violated the terms of her contract. So like, that's how much I'm feeling it. The other thing is the whole Sam B thing that happened. Samantha Bee just got like dragged over the coals for calling Ivanka Trump a cunt. And the idea that we're going to tell comedians what they can and can't say to power is really terrifying to me. And how quickly people jumped on that bandwagon of pretending that saying the C word was the same as being racist, same as having a history of violent bigotry and racism is really terrifying, because again, we don't want to tell comics what they can and can't say. We have to allow them to say what they want to say, and then if we want to boycott them, not buy their shit and their careers, you can do that.
Change the channel.
Yeah.
You can not watch.
They can't do that, man. They can't.
Well,
it's like head on a stick or nothing.
the thing about like bookers telling people what to say is definitely specific to like clubs and colleges and corporate events. Like there's still a lot of shows where it's like comedians and they can say whatever, but a lot of those shows don't pay. So like.
But like, do you guys worry that at some point I'll get arrested for it? Because I do, and I didn't worry about that at all at Bush. And I think I could be standing on stage at the comic strip and get dragged the fuck off stage. I really do. And I never ever thought that before Bush. So like, I know I can go to colleges, say whatever I want because they hire Milo. I know corporate is paying me to shut up, but I don't feel safe on Twitter. I don't feel safe in comedy clubs. I don't feel like if I was arrested tomorrow, anyone would do anything to stop it, because journalists were arrested the other day at the EPA and no one did anything to stop it.
Yeah, I understand your fear because I watched The Handmaid's Tale.
Thank God I can't breathe.
Yeah, it's just so weird to know that, because you should just have your consequences. And people keep making all these false equivalences, like when Sam called Ivanka a Trump, a cunt. Feckless.
He called her a Trump. It was so offensive.
That would offend the hell out of me.
She's like, how dare you?
Yeah, people wanted to compare that to Roseanne Barr
Not at all.
calling Valerie Jarrett an ape. And it's just like they were feigning that they didn't know that that's a false equivalent. And a male comedian said, which was funny to me, he was like, she can call Ivanka a cunt because she's in the community. That's the N-word for white women. So she's allowed to say it. And it's like, you can say that. I guess I could call another black person an ape. I'm not going to do that, but I can say the N-word. So it's like, that's a false equivalent. To act like you didn't know that Roseanne did that out of racism, that's the part that's scary to me, that the people are just pretending that they don't know what's going on.
Well, also that Al Franken would be equated to Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly.
Like they're apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And I think that there's what is offensive. And I find what Donald Trump is doing to be so much more offensive than any word that Samantha Bee can say. And by the way, Ivanka is offensive.
Yes, she's a cunt.
I never use bitch or cunt on stage, but I can easily say Ivanka is a cunt.
Yeah.
Feckless.
But also Al Franken's a creep.
No, it's a creep, but there's a real difference.
Of course there's a
Huge
difference.
Yeah.
It's just that it's like, if you go around victimizing women, like, please don't be a senator, you know? Like, be like my uncle, do it in private, you know? Go live in the suburbs. They're very tolerant, you know?
Anna, you work you're a writer on SNL, right? So how, like, obviously this conversation is like super related to you in the writer's room. How is this, how is this kind of conversation affecting you as a writer and in the writer's room?
I definitely don't want to like posit myself like I speak for the whole show.
Don't, just speak for yourself.
They've just recently learned my name, and it's the only thing I have, and I don't want to ruin it, because otherwise I have to make friends again, and I just don't know where they are. But yeah, the first thing that comes to mind, like the whole Trump effect, and I was hired in 2016 So I had a couple months of like not the apocalypse that were like sort of regular. But the biggest change is that like the news cycle is completely out the window.
Oh my
like
God.
Things used to be press releases and they would happen at certain times, like in the morning on a Tuesday, so you had the week or whatever. But the Access Hollywood tape dropped like an album. It the single came out and then the full album came out at the same time. It was 6:30 on a Friday and we had already written important, smart people had already written the cold open. So we were all like had to stay late that day, and like that just became the way things were. That like it used to be like, yeah, we write the show and then that we know what happens. But if it's like, oh, and Trump just like put on a banana suit and like rolled around on the White House South Lawn, it's like, okay, great, everyone put your children down and come to work. Like, we have to write different joke about the sad, scary things that are happening. I mostly write, like I don't really write the cold open stuff. It's more like head write. Why am I whispering? I'm just like snatched. I'm definitely talking about Fight Club. But yeah, it's a little bit frustrating because the other thing is that like there's certain things like him making Steve Harvey the head of, what was it, like HUD? It was,
No, HUD.
It was like, but it was just like, that is like something that would have been a sketch, but there were people
You
who
mean
thought,
Ben Carson,
That
right?
Carson.
no, but no, he had Steve Harvey, or he just took a picture with him and said that he was going to be in government, or like was his special advisor. And like Kenan Thompson does Steve Harvey, so there were so many people who thought that that was just a joke that the show did. Like, oh yeah, well they have the bald cap and mustache already, so it was like, no, that's just a thing that happened. So it's like, how do you heighten and like make
Right.
comedy out of something that's already
Ridiculous.
like it's just noun salad. Like every headline is like, what are some nouns? Great, yeah, put them all together. Like North Korea, Trump, Dennis Rodman. Like, yeah, just throw it all in there.
You actually, that's an excellent point. There's almost no room for satire because current events are satirizing themselves.
Yeah. But I think that's why, Madeline, like, you're so legendary, because
Oh,
you,
please.
no, and I mean that sincerely, and we just met, but like, you created the structure that we could step into when the news cycle goes out of the window, when it's scarier than fiction. I really think that you created an entire genre where we could talk about things that otherwise would be too serious to mock, and I think you should be applauded for those of you who
You. I think really when the Daily Show sort of switched into being what the embryo that it had been, and Kilborn was in it the first 2.5 years, and then John came in, it was really the space between election 2000 and when the Supreme Court put George Bush in office. And what happened was during that space in time, the quote-unquote real news was really struggling because they had to sort of like accept that this was normal and that we didn't have a president and that the hanging chads and all of the stuff that was going on, and we were able to sort of take it as a real thing and then push it further. And as those days went on, everybody else kind of like didn't know how to handle themselves, and at that time we were the only ones that could actually call it what it was, which was insane. And at that, so the media were like, we don't know what to do, let's just show clips of the Daily Show.
Nice.
And that's really how it happened. It was because the world went crazy to the point where comedy was really the only language that you could use to address it.
I wish it was still 2000. That's sad.
I know, and now, oh my God, we had no idea what was coming.
None.
That looks so tame. When George W. Bush is looking good to me,
Yeah.
I have to go like wanka, 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 like.
Point of reference, George W. Bush will never look good to me
No, he
because
doesn't
there's
look
a
good at
million
all.
dead civilians on his back.
Correct.
So when we talk about Trump and everyone's like, I miss George Bush, there's a lot of Arabs with dead babies that are like, we don't.
No.
I think she meant like hotness wise, like
Yeah.
George W. Bush. actually.
Like less goggles?
Never, like, I can only think of him as a caricature, but now I'm like, would, you know? I would.
I would pick Jimmy. If I had to pick an ex-president bang, it'd be Jimmy. Ramadan Kareem, any Muslims out there?
Jimmy Carter, yeah.
Yeah,
He's still alive,
totally
right?
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
He's the finest
Barack.
I mean, that goes without
But
saying.
Michelle, I don't want to disrespect her. I'm okay throwing Carter's wife under the bus, but not Michelle.
Okay.
I have too much respect for her and her.
Her arms are insane.
She's beautiful.
I had a friend post on social media yesterday, I think Pence might be better. She was like really ashamed.
No.
I do. I think.
Satan.
He'd really be in The Handmaid's Tale. Pence gets in
But
office.
don't you feel like he's easier to control?
No, he's not, because he's better at what he does than Trump is, and he's smart, and he's actually a politician.
Yeah, he's
and he's
like-
insidious and like a creep, and will sit in the corner and like, we'll all be handmaids. I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna blow up some stuff.
I have nothing to do with what she said. The Palestinian is not co-signing the.
I am.
You do know they're taping this.
Yeah.
Joyelle said that, not me soon.
I also love that, like,
Be clear.
that Trump versus Pence, like, we're living in a would you rather. Well, if I fuck my dad, then that's bad. But if my whole bones were razors, that would hurt. So, Pence, you know? What a fun time to be alive.
You were looking for friends. I just want to hang out with you all the time because like you're my inner monologue persona.
I pull away from people who like me, so.
How's that
I'll
work?
be like, yeah, no, totally, sometimes. My dog
We're comics. We never text back anyway. It's just potential hangout. Yeah.
Okay, so the last question for the group of you.
This is it.
This well,
I
we can
can't
keep going.
Jersey.
This is
I
you
can't
can keep.
waste my
This is
time.
like a long question. So, you guys are all role models for many people in this room.
Correct.
And beyond.
Oh, God help us.
What is some advice that you would give to aspiring comics now, and like how would you navigate the kind of the things that we've been talking about? What advice would you give people to navigate this kind of current situation in comedy?
I feel like the advice I would give someone a couple years ago is different. Like, I don't know what I would say now, because it used to be like, make your own stuff and like put it on Funny or Die or like YouTube, send it around. But now everything's funneled through Facebook and Twitter, and they basically Facebook gets the views, and these platforms have to pay Facebook for ad space in order to promote the videos. So like they're losing, like all of my friends are getting laid off from like every comedy website is just not, they don't have their cash flow anymore. So like making new content now is very hard to do because like I don't even know how you would get, I would still like make your own stuff and like go where it's warm and work with people that you like who make you laugh. But like in terms of using the internet, I don't know if I have that advice, you know? Wow. That was like Silent Spring.
Damn, that was
Learn a trade.
Yes, go to be
Yes.
an electrician.
Yeah, I guess my advice would be, especially to my younger self, if I was talking to a younger black female comic, is to walk in a room and own it and know that just because there's a whole bunch of white boys sitting at the table doesn't mean you don't have a seat at that table and don't deserve for your voice to be heard. Because that usually takes a long time, and I'm 36, so it took me 36 years to be like, oh, I can speak now, like, and just to know, and I would tell a young black girl, walk through life like you a white boy, and also don't have sex with other comedians.
I always said something similar to you, and this was my advice all the time, because I get it a lot, before the internet, was really shut up and do it. And it's just, if you want to write, just write, and keep writing, and if you don't have the passion to do it, whether anyone's reading it or looking at it, do open mics, put shit on YouTube, even if nobody sees it, because you can build yourself for real. If you don't have the passion that you're gonna die unless it happens, you should probably consider a different line of work. It's something that it really is a calling. And if you have it, you do have no choice. And if you have a choice, run.
Run away.
Get out now. because it's evil and it is not consistent and you will never retire, and it has a very short-term memory, and you're only as good as that second as to what you've done, and nobody will remember anything that you've done, and it is very sexist and it is incredibly racist. And having said that, if you love it, go for it.
It's so true.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's funny, like when I think of advice for people, it's like, yeah, don't do it unless you absolutely have to. But the thing is, like, I always have doubts where I'm like, do I actually love this? I don't know. Is this bad? I should be a social worker. I'd be a bad social worker. Like, I get sad too often. Okay, I guess I have to keep, like, I like constantly doubt whether or not this is the right path for me. But I would say that if you want to do comedy, just keep doing it and don't quit. Because then you're doing comedy, you know? That's legitimately why I'm still, like, truly right before I got hired, I was like, I have a bad life and I'm a bad person because I spend all my time with bad people and I am always drunk and like, my couch, I'll never have a couch from the couch store. My couches come from outside, you know? Like, I only get couches like, there's a couch, go now, run. And like, it's a bad life and I'm getting old and nothing's good and everything's bad. And then like, I just got a job and like, that was the only difference. So like when people ask like, how'd you do it? It's like, I just keep doing it until someone's like, you know?
Yeah, you gotta be okay with being broke.
Get outside of the house as much as possible, I think. Just be out there so that maybe you'll interact with someone who can help you.
So that one day you can choose to never leave the house.
Exactly.
So that for me is...
Take a comedy class. It's actually an art, so you should learn how to do it. So take a comedy class, watch comedians, see what you like, see what you don't like, and don't be derivative. Don't see a comedian and be like, I can make that joke better, therefore I will use the premise and then use my own punchline. Don't do that. Write every single day, no matter what. Sit down, write 5 jokes. If you can't think of anything to write about, go online, see what the current events are, see what jokes you can push out based on those current events. Write about stuff that you would never write about. So if you don't like politics, write about politics. If you don't like relationships, write about relationships. Do all of that stuff. Go to as many open mics as you can and crash poetry open mics. Nobody wants to actually hear poetry. They're so happy when a comic comes in a room, but they're not expecting you. So you can get like an honest reaction from the people in the audience.
And if you're bad, you could be like, it was a poem.
Yeah, it was a poem. It was a haiku. You missed the counting.
Maybe you're too dumb to get it, I guess.
I personally, and this is just for me, and I'm just saying this, words matter. Don't be a person who causes other people to harm themselves because of the words that you use. We're told sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's simply not true. So be responsible. If you're gonna make a rape joke, if you're gonna make a racist joke, if you're gonna make a misogynistic joke, have a reason that you're doing it. Take responsibility for the risk that you're taking, and don't just say things that are harmful to people because it's a cheap laugh. Elevate the dialogue, do better than what we're seeing, and then don't listen to those guys. I get paid millions to talk shit. I have the greatest job in the world. If you invest in this, you can work for 20 minutes and make $20,000 do it. I still wear Velcro shoes, sorry. I'll tell you why I wear Velcro shoes. Pay your taxes, artists. That's my biggest advice. If you become a comedian, pay quarterly taxes, or you'll be like me, going to jail probably in September.
Thank you guys. That wraps up our class. Thank you all for coming. What do you have, sorry? Oh, questions. Of course we do. I'm sorry. There are questions, I know. Who's got one?
You have to frame it in the form of a question like it's Jeopardy.
You have to ask a question.
Yes, frame your question in the form of a question. No one.
Does anyone have a question for Anna? Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh.
How do you think that comedy plays a role in like everyday life outside of comedy shows and like in the workplace outside of comedy, I guess?
Well, I have a feeling on that. I think comedy is the thing that keeps you sane. I think that it's a defense mechanism against a world that is nuts, and that if you're able to laugh at something that otherwise would cause you to bobbing, it's actually, and if you can share that with other people, it just helps survival. It's really a good thing for survival. I mean, my mom has dementia right now, and it's hilarious.
It's important as a comedian not to sit and try your jokes on people just hanging out with you. So like, yes, comedy is part of my life. I find it much more enjoyable to laugh and mock the things that, like my comedy comes from things that anger me. I mock them, but I really do think it's important that if you want to become a comic, you don't sit in a room and pretend you're telling a story that's actually a 3-minute joke. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
Right? They're the worst.
Horrible.
I also think there's like this weird requirement for a lot of things to be funny that didn't used to have to be funny. Like commercials are hilarious for like car insurance, you know, like it's for like when the worst possible thing happens to you, but like it still has to be like a famous person being like wryly funny and also weird but relatable. As I remember, I'm talking to people who work in advertising. That is absolutely mortifying. Please just let me leave. Don't anyone look in me in my eyes. Just let me go. We'll all pretend this never happened. Oh God.
Laugh at funerals, that's what I say.
I've done that.
I always do that.
You lighten the...
Yeah.
Hi. Maysoon, you talk a lot about censorship and what you are paid not to talk about. What creative ways have you found to still have your voice heard and to send the message out to the world?
I don't give a fuck. I get fired all the time. I have my agents ask to return the money all the time because I spent half of my life in America and half of my life in the third world, right? So I'm born and raised in Jersey. My parents are Palestinian, just like Dina's. And so they're like, don't talk about Israel. And I'm like, free Palestine. They're like, go home. I'm like, all right. I don't listen. I just don't listen. But again, that's an extreme privilege. I started out doing stand-up comedy in clubs in New York City where you could just say anything. So when people started censoring me, I was already at the level where I had the power to reject the fact that I was being censored. So I have people tell me all the time, I mean, I literally have not gotten the biggest gig in my life. In my life, I was up to co-host a very, very famous show that I'm not co-hosting. And they said it was because of my politics on Palestine. And my politics on Palestine is that I think Palestinians deserve equality, and apparently that's controversial enough for you to not get hired. And so I had to make that decision. And I had to make the decision of, do I shut up and get where I need to go and then talk? Or do I talk and whoever really wants me to be there will have me there? And so basically what happened was no one would hire me to do TV shows because, like I said, there's no disabled people on TV. And with commentary, I was getting shut out because A, I'm way too political. Like, I don't pull any punches with this Trump shit. And also because I'm pro-Palestinian, that's a big problem. And I'm also Muslim, which people don't like. And I'm about 40 pounds heavier than I'm supposed to be. And that's a whole issue, too. And what I decided was I didn't want to work with the people who wouldn't let me be inherently me. So I'm doing a sitcom, and it took me 7 years to find a producer who would let me play the lead. No one ever screen tested me. No one ever tested my acting. They simply said no because I had a disability. Wow. So I didn't sell out. I didn't let the show be made with someone who wasn't disabled. I challenged them. I'd be like, okay, it doesn't have to be me. Find an actress with cerebral palsy. Good luck. I know them all. And I've Tanya Harding the shit out of them. So like, nobody's gonna be able to do that. But like, again, it's a decision based on privilege. There are some people who don't get to say no to gigs. I get to say no to gigs because I've made enough money as a comic flying under the radar where people didn't really realize what I was doing until I got to the level where they're like, oh my God, she's so offensive. And so when I talk about people telling me what not to do and my choices of what not to do, I choose not to use cunt. I choose not to use bitch. We have a sexual predator in the White House. I'm not going to normalize violence against women. Nobody's telling me not to do that. I'm choosing not to do that. So for the people who want to silence me in a time where I definitely, and we talked about this at the beginning of the panel, I genuinely live in fear. I get death threats all the time. I see journalists being arrested in America. I know that tomorrow it can be me. I cannot be silent when I have the privilege to talk, so I just won't be. Notice I haven't been on any of the late night shows doing stand-up. Not anything. Just saying. No, none of them. None of them. Nobody has put me on. I've sold out a Live Nation tour across the country, 1,000-seat average theater. I've never been put on late night to do stand-up.
Send me, let's talk.
Okay. There we go.
Is that the question?
Only because we have you all here, are there any jokes you guys want to try on us?
I have a joke.
She has a joke. You want to hear, girl? Give her a mic. She's gonna tell the joke.
I've never been more excited for someone to say.
Should I do my set?
No. Just one. Pick your best joke.
All right. Well, no. It's actually. I was just working on it. It's a new joke. Okay. It's a new joke, and I'm really glad. All right. I'm nervous now. Okay. So. Okay. So I have to. There's a segue into it. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So I grew up in New Jersey, and I'm not saying New Jersey's racist, but in high school, my friends called me the token black girl. I'm not black. My dad's Spanish and my mom's Jewish. They're like a spick Jew is close enough. We actually bust black kids in from Newark to run on our track team. We still lost. What's worse than a losing racist track coach? A losing racist track coach who's a pedophile. And worse than that, a kid who'll do anything for a recommendation.
Ooh.
You're brave.
Yeah, I ignored that wasn't the joke, but that's the opening of the set because the joke's about what happened with Roseanne.
Okay.
So it's, thank God Roseanne, now we know where racism comes from. Ativan, right? It's like we had, so this goes all the way back, right? So we have Christopher Columbus had some, seasickness on the Nina, took some Ativan, woke up, side effect, scalping. All right? We have Hitler. He was just an artist, right? Couldn't sleep at night, financial difficulties, took an Ativan. Side effect, he thought Jews were better as soap. All right?
The drug is Ambien, and you're losing everyone with the Ativan.
Sorry. I'm nervous. Ambien. Thank you. Thank you for helping me with that. I'm not even looking at you guys. All right. So then we have some southern guys. They love their tire swings, running through the fields. Grow up. They're trying to count sheep at night. That stopped working. They take Ambien. Side effect. Side effect. They wake up, want to put on white sheets, elect a grand dragon, and lynching. Yeah. Okay. And the last one, we have our police force. Right. Remember, they were just do-gooder cops, walking the beat, eating donuts, but they had restless leg syndrome. They couldn't sleep at night. They took an Ambien. They woke up, decided that targeting black youth for arrests and beatings was the way to go. Okay, I'm working on a punchline on that, but that's the joke I wanted to tell. Yeah,
You are very, very brave.
She's brave.
With that being said, no, I do not want to do any stand-up right now.
It's too light.
You did it.
Yeah, it's too light. We were going to do stand-up before the panel, and we walked in and we're like,
no.
So beautiful, too light.
So beautiful. You guys should all be in the dark. It's not good for stand-up.
We don't want to see you.
No,
but
nobody does.
What's your name?
Rebecca Earnsay.
But what Rebecca did was really brave. It's
Yeah,
what
that
I'm
was
saying
brave
to
as hell.
people, that you have to try and do it no matter what. Don't lean too hard on things that are like hot button to be your punchline. You can't do a couple of the things that you did. Figure out what your lane is and what your lane isn't, and choose the offensive things that you talk about and make sure that they relate directly to you. Because otherwise it just feels like you're saying shit to be edgy, and I want you to be funny, edgy, and real.
Wow, you just got free coaching.
You did, yeah.
I'm a teacher, it's a problem.
Do you go to open mics?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
Do we have one more? One more question?
Yeah.
Yay! We'll repeat it.
She projects.
Yeah, well, it's for Anna. I write, direct, and produce my own sketch show every couple months, and I don't expect ever to get anywhere. But I just wanted to ask you, do you think it's important to work with other writers? I mean, I do work with other writers, but it's so hard to find a sketch group, to work with. There's not, I don't know. It's hard to find other writers and actually meet, whatever. What did you do?
It is really hard to round people up, and that's also why I kind of wanted to start doing stand-up, is in order to do sketch or improv, you have to pay to rent a room, you have to schedule it, you have to call a number and get one person and give your credit card, and then get there and you pay a coach, and then you're just we're just adults pretending in a ballet studio, and then you have to emotionally deal with that. Which is great when you're 23, but then, the closer you creep to 25, that's disgusting and old, we can all agree. I'm older than that, calm down. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think I also wrote online, so if there's humor websites, yeah, I think kind of look and see what has worked for you, what felt like it had its own momentum coming from it, that it wasn't just you clawing your way, and there's a lot of clawing, but if you look back and see what seemed to just sort of work, and then maybe explore that more.
Can I piggyback too?
Yeah.
Change your mind about it, because you made a detrimental statement at the beginning of it, saying you don't think you're going to get anywhere. So if you say that, you're not going to get to it. Change your mind about it.
I'm gonna get anywhere.
Everywhere.
Yay.
And another quick piggyback is there's a lot of programs out there for women writers. Get online, Google what the women writers programs are, and submit your comedy when they're not asking for comedy. Submit it.
All right. Anyone? Any last questions? No. All right. Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Where can we see these guys or follow their work?
Where can we see them? I know you're all on the
SNL. You can follow me on Twitter at Anna Dresden, and follow me on Instagram for pictures of my dog.
How do you spell your last name?
Drezen.
Nice.
It's in the program.
It's in the program.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So all that information is in the program. Yeah, I'm Joyelle Nicole, Joyelle, Nicole. And to go back to what you were saying, I've always wanted to write for Broad City. That was one of the shows that I love. And I wrote a spec for Broad City, and that was years ago. And I was like, oh man, it's about to end. I'm going to be a consultant on the last season. So I made that happen. Yeah, I made that happen with my mom. See? So your words are powerful, and you can do it.
And you can see Joyelle on the Magical Mystery Tour.
Yes, we're touring with Liz Winstead. Yes, we are.
Yes. Say hello.
We will.
Thank you all for tonight.
Thank
This
you.
has been amazing. Really appreciate it. Thank you for saving my bomb opening. And thank you guys all for coming. It's really enjoyable having you here.
Sorry. If anyone didn't try the green sauce next to the fried tofu, it's
so
the
good.
best shit I've ever eaten in my life. I want to bathe in it, so if you can, go lick that bowl.